and able to get out there and express themselves. Johnny Woodley, I'm hoping that your mic is on and that we are able to hear you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, Jimmy. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Awesome, dude.
Awesome. It's I'm in the middle of downtown. There's a lot of background noise. Seems like there's some people moving around in the streets. So monitoring that closely as we talk today.
All right, so give me your sense on the campaign.
Well, did I win? I didn't see the results, but I heard it was really close. I'm working with my team right now to gather in all the mail-in votes, maybe some absentee ballots, but it's looking like I'm winning in a landslide, Jimmy.
I would think that every Republican will easily sweep Denver County tonight, Johnny Woodley. But what was it like for you stepping up as a candidate this go around in 2020? You ran for the Denver City Council in 2019. That was quite a fight that you put up there. What's your sense for how things sort of were on the campaign trail, especially given the dynamics being so different with COVID-19, with the virus, and also with everything that we have seen vis-a-vis the violence and mayhem in the city?
Well, as far as the campaign, it's sad to say that it was slow, and I say that in a way that I think anybody with a D in their name could have won, even a little dog. That's kind of how the voting is here in Denver. It's I'm pretty much calling the voters here, Democrats and all over Denver. It's pathetic. They're pathetic, and we're going to see what's going to happen now. So we lost, they're calling for Hickenlooper. They called it for Biden. So you kind of see the direction. Denver's a big part of why that happened. We're going to see even worse outcomes these days. And, I never put any fluff into anything, but we're going to see some hard times the next 4 years here.
Unfortunately, I tend to agree. Samantha Cook, what do you make of the dynamics of this 2020 race?
I've been cautiously optimistic the whole time. I do feel like there were a lot of people that were at least open to having conversations. But I've been humbled a lot of times by people on Facebook reminding me that the chances of me winning in Denver were very slim. But I always stayed optimistic. I always wanted to take the opportunity to get to know people and to remind people that their opinions, their concerns, their issues, that they matter. And I think that, just having that attitude has really helped people to be more vocal. I think as either Bill or Doug was saying that, conservatives are a lot more vocal now than they have been in the past. And, Colorado isn't going the way that we want right now. And as Johnny said, we're going to see some hard times, especially with some of these initiatives passing. So even some of the conversations I had in my community, I had to reiterate to people, it's not that I'm against paying taxes or having some of these in place. It's that we need to have trust when our government says they're going to do something or spend our money in a certain way that it's going to happen. And unfortunately, we're going to have to keep learning that the hard way. And it's really unfortunate for our beautiful, beautiful state. But it is what it is. And, we've fought a really good fight and, really energized people in a way that they haven't been energized in the past. So, we'll see where that goes.
Where do you think things will head in terms of the issues in the next couple of years, Johnny Woodley? From the topics that will face Coloradans that maybe as we're looking ahead to 2022, which surely with the way time can fly, will be right around the corner. What do you think are going to be top of mind moving forward?
Well, moving forward, and in the interview that we've done in the past, Jimmy, I always told you I came to Colorado expecting to raise a family here. After today, I realized that that's not going to be a possibility in the 2 to 4 years. So we're going to see drastic changes in education, the way when I say our as a community, our kids are being taught, and it's not going to be the ways that we like. They're not going to have the same kind of values. In fact, indoctrination is just going to go a little bit even further in our education system. And what can we do about it? Nothing. When we look at the economy, right, in Denver alone, we're going already on the ballot was another sales tax initiative. And they always just say like, oh, it's only going to go up 40 cents this time. Well, every year that 40 cents, it builds up, it compounds. And here we are paying pretty high sales tax. If we look at property tax, you're going to see an increase in that. So we're going to see increases in taxes. We're going to see education go to, fill in the blank. We're going to see our infrastructure still suffer because the money's not going to be going there. We're going to see our homeless population keep increasing, and all these elected officials are just going to want to take more and more of your money. So the taxpayers, the voters, they can expect a lot of that. And you know what? You can't get mad because we had a chance. We had a great opportunity here in 2020. So you lay in the bed you make, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Now, I might sound like I'm a little bitter, but the thing is I'm being real, I'm being realistic, and that's a problem that we've been facing for years, is that we've just been beating around the bush, and we haven't been able to tackle the really difficult situations and issues. So,
well,
again,
and I wonder, to Johnny's point, and I think you're making a very important point, in fact, Johnny Woodley, and that is that we have not addressed so many serious issues in our community. But Samantha Cook, I worry about now with the trajectory of this state of Colorado that the serious issues may get pushed by the wayside even longer.
Well, and I completely agree. And as we've seen with this, the pandemic, our governor has acquired power that he's just been dying to have. And, him combined with, no balance in our legislature, it's completely full of radical leftists that want to keep pushing towards more and more and more power. He wants to keep things shut down. He wants to keep us in a state of emergency. He wants to create a situation where more people are dependent on government. I mean, he's about as far left as they come. And when you have that kind of government control, and so much has been taken away from people already. And the way the results are going today with, we're not getting balance anymore in 2020. The things aren't going to get better. They're going to get a lot worse. And it's really unfortunate. I know that, if there's any Democrats watching this, they'll probably say that we're being sore losers, but it's a fact and it's a reality. And this is exactly what we have been fighting against. And the message we've been trying to get across for the last 9 months is that the agenda of the left has been laid bare. They want this control. They want to be able to make decisions for you. And when they do that, you don't have the power to improve them. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
I think, Samantha Cook, that is very well put. I just want to ask anybody who's back there also on the line, and if you haven't muted your microphone, we would sure appreciate that. Unfortunately, I can't control individual microphones, just individual smiling faces that get on the screens. So before we let you both go, we're going to be joined, I expect, by Don Itterberg from the State Republican Party here in just a few minutes. I want to ask you what your biggest lesson, and as I've been asking the other candidates, the biggest lesson that you have learned personally from this campaign in 2020. Samantha, let's go with you first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, on a political level, I have learned how much your local representative really impacts your life. And it's really important to pay attention to who is directly representing your neighborhood, because that's who is making the decisions about your child's education, whether or not you can go to work, what your taxes look like, what, your local community looks like, and how your taxes are being spent. And a lot of people pay so much attention to what's going on in the bigger picture, they don't realize that the person that represents their very neighborhood is the one that really calls the shots for what their life looks like. I've also been able to just meet a lot of amazing people, and this race didn't go how I had hoped that it went, but I also know I have met just a ton of really amazing people that are, they're patriots. They're fighting for our country no matter what happens. And this isn't the end for me. I know that there's going to be a lot of great opportunities that came just from doing this. And also, one of the biggest reasons I ran is because I wanted to give a voice back to parents. The gal I'm running against is not interested in doing that. So I hope that parents keep continuing to speak up and fighting for their children, because our children need that so much, especially now. So don't stay silent. silent. Don't be quiet. Don't let up on the issues that are important, because then you could end up with a state representative like the hag I've been running against for the last 9 months.
Johnny Woodley, your final thoughts
Well,
on your lesson.
I feel like Sam took a bunch of my final thoughts for that question. So I'm going to go in a different direction. The things that I learned during this race and the last race is that we're not all in this together. Denver is not inclusive. And if you're conservative, you're not welcome here. And that's the message that this city keeps relaying to the voters, especially us conservatives. It's really difficult to live in Denver and be even a smidge of conservative here. I've learned that our local elected officials, they really don't care about the long-term effects of their short-term solutions. We see it now with Mayor Hancock. You see it in the school board with Tay Anderson. You see it in my district with Candy Baca, and the list goes on. You could see it with Allison Coombs in Aurora. So no matter where you go, Sam's right. You got to look at your local and your state, because this is how these radicals, these extreme left candidates get into office. And they do it incrementally, and they do it on a low level. And then before you know it, they're running for senator here. So pay attention to that local and state. And if you plan to stay here in Colorado, wherever you live, expect that you will have to fight. You can't just sit on the sidelines. If you expect to stay in Colorado, you need to stand up and fight. Yeah. Don't sit there and rely on somebody else to do it for you.
We all have to do our part. That's for darn sure. Johnny Woodley and Samantha Cook, thank you both so much for stepping up to the plate this election cycle, and I'm sure you will keep in the fight moving forward. That's for darn sure. And yes,
right.
Absolutely.
We can
Thank
hope.
you.
We can hope too, Johnny, President Trump pulls it out tonight. Thanks so much for joining us in the live stream. Again, Samantha Cook and Johnny Woodley, both tremendous candidates.